great football team. We cheer the Pittsburgh Steelers.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Sports Economy 101 show. This is Andrew and I'm Bill. We're doing a little bit of different show today because we're discussing the Pittsburgh Steelers and their new coach, Mike McCarthy. Usually all we talk about is sports and money because that's really what matters. But today I decided to take time out because I know more Pittsburgh Steelers fans than I probably should know. And JP, my co-host, is a Steeler fan. Well, whatever. And none of us are from Pennsylvania. But hey, who cares? The bandwagon's going by and we're getting on it. Isn't that right, Andrew?
Amen. Amen.
So tell us a little bit about why you're a Steeler fan.
All right. So Dad was born in a little coal town called Clymer, Pennsylvania. And so since my birth, I really had no choice. I was brought up a Steelers fan. I've been a Steelers fan my whole life. So it never was a choice for me, but I'll never look back.
When that's all you have is Steeler coats and hats and stuff to wear out in the cold tundra of Pennsylvania, you kind of have to be. And everybody else, are Steeler fans. It's just the way that it is. Well, that's okay. I'm not a Steeler fan, but I know a lot. That's why we're doing this show, because I need some views and some clicks, because I'm trying to reach the top of that click mountain, baby. Help us out, please.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, what we're going to talk about today, Andrew, is Mike McCarthy, your new coach. So anyway, here in a couple of minutes or so, we're going to do the Mike McCarthy minute.
Okay.
And how you think that he's going to turn out. All right, so I'm going to slide my clock over here. Get my clock reset. I'm going to slide over here. We're going to give you 1 minute to talk about your expectations of the Mike McCarthy era. Then after this, I want to ask you a couple of questions about your quarterback. So, all right, you ready? I'm going to start the clock.
Yes, sir.
There it goes.
All righty. So Mike McCarthy, I think there's pros and cons, right? So he has had a very successful career, right? I think that's very good on his part. I think his career winning percentage is like a .6. It's around there. So I do expect some wins, right? Now, can he surpass Tomlin's legacy that he's left behind? I think that's the question. I believe he's had like an 11-11 playoff winning record. So I think, can we surpass that constant back-to-back 9-8 and finally get a win in the playoffs that we all so yearn for as Steelers fans? I think that's going to be the question. I think it comes down to, can you get the right guys in the room? Can you get a quarterback that can take the reins and just control the offense? I think that's what it comes down to.
Well, you finished in less than a minute. Man, you're good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody else is there at least a minute and 20 seconds. But anyway, the question I have for you about the quarterback, which you brought up, the thing in the room that we don't want to talk about, he has to get a quarterback that's under 30 years old. All right?
100%. 100%.
Because your future cannot be on the back of a 42-year-old guy.
100%. Yeah.
So the question is, he has Will Howard. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
And he also has Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
What do you feel Mike McCarthy will do with those two guys?
Yeah, so I've personally witnessed Mason Rudolph at a training camp. I think he's solid. Do I think he's starting caliber for the Steelers? Not necessarily, right? So he's good, but he's not great. I think Will Howard has a lot of potential. I'd love to see him in some preseason games, in training camp, that kind of stuff. I want to see his progression. I want to see how his arm is. How is he improved from college? I think that's going to be huge. But I do think getting a younger quarterback behind the reins, behind the wheel, I think that's going to be really important. And it usually doesn't start out that great at the beginning, right? But what that allows them to do is grow into the role of the offense that the Steelers want to run, right? So I think I'd go with Will Howard initially, and know that there will be growing pains, right? But again, I still think that there's some solid options coming from the NFL. I think from the college realm. So do we get another young guy in the room and give him the reins? I think that's another question to be thought about, right? So yeah, I think we have some good options. I don't think the answer is Aaron Rodgers. Um, Watched a lot of tapes on him and missing wide open reads, crumbling under pressure, that kind of stuff. And I know we at times didn't give him the best protection and stuff like that, but still, as a veteran quarterback, uh, some plays are still expected to be made under pressure, right? So I think Aaron Rodgers is on his way out. I know Mike McCarthy coached him for a long time in Green Bay. Um, and so I know that there's a relationship there. There's some trust established there, but I do think a younger quarterback is the solution.
Chris, who is going to do our show, our 1 minute Mike McCarthy minute as a Steelers fan. We work with an abnormal amount of Steeler fans in our building. I don't know why, but they're there. There are more Steelers fans than Redskins or Cowboys fans, which I thought was amazing. And we don't even live in the state of Pennsylvania. Hey. So, all right, so thanks for joining us today, Chris. We're gonna give you a minute. I've got a whole list of people that I'm talking to, and we're gonna give you a minute to talk about how you feel the Mike McCarthy era is going to start out. So anyway, just a little bit here. Do you have any preliminary thoughts of, the hiring of all this?
Mhm. Well, it's an interesting hire for a number of reasons. And let's just start with the fact that he is a Pittsburgh native.
Yeah.
He's from the Greenfield section. I'm very familiar with that. My mother, father, and grandparents are buried in Calvary Cemetery, not far from where Mike McCarthy grew up.
Well, that's serious.
That makes him, no, the fact that he is from Pittsburgh
Yeah.
makes him very attractive to a lot of people because Pittsburgh is a very provincial city.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get to his age. Okay, he is in his 60s.
Yeah.
The last three coaches that the Steelers have hired, and that goes all the way back to 1969 and the first season of Chuck Noll, all three of them, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, in their 30s. So they had a lot of coaching life left in them. I don't think Mike McCarthy is going to have a very long leash. I think the obstacle that he has to overcome and the bar that he has to rise above is at least winning a playoff game. And if he can't do that, I don't see that he's going to be here more than 2 or 3 years at most. They're not going to give him a long time to prove himself.
Yeah. Let me roll my old timey clock out over here to see if you can see it. Oh, look at there. Ain't that pretty?
Okay.
Can you see that?
All right.
We're gonna give you 1 minute, Chris, to tell us what you believe is going to happen in Mike McCarthy's first year.
Okay.
All right, you ready? And here it goes.
I think they are going to be about 9-8. I don't think they will make the playoffs. Mike McCarthy is just getting used to a new system. I know he's familiar with the Steelers, having grown up there. I'm familiar with the neighborhood that he's from, Greenfield. My grandparents were from Shadyside, which is not far from there, and they were buried in Greenfield, a cemetery there. There's a situation in Pittsburgh where there is the Steeler way. I hope that he can fit in. I don't know how many wins he has left in his career. He had some success in Dallas. He had some success in Green Bay prior to that. But I just think he's really toward the twilight of his career. He's in his 60s. The Steelers are used to hiring coaches in their 30s. They stick around a long time. 3 coaches, in about 30 some years, 40 some years, actually. It's just, I don't see Mike McCarthy being the coach 5 years from now.
Yeah. Well, in 5 years, he'll be his late 60s, 67, 68
Yeah,
years old. Yeah. The NFL is a pretty stressful job on a
it
35-year-old.
is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, dude got a question about the Aaron Rodgers experiment.
Okay.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to be the starting quarterback next year? Is he going to be on the team? Who knows?
We didn't know whether he was going to be on the team until May of last year. So, I mean, he's notorious for not making early decisions, to say the least. So, yeah, I would say it's about 60-40 that he will not be on the team.
Okay. Now, one of the other Steeler fans in our little workplace says they gave him an ultimatum, a date that he has to make a decision.
Okay.
That's just what he told me. Like I say, I'm not a fan, folks. I don't follow the Steelers. So that's why I got guest on.
Are you asking me whether I should set an ultimatum date?
No, I'm asking you if that really happened. Do you know that if they actually okay, would you say, hey, we need to have a decision from you by this date?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would, because they do. They have to plan. They have to know how to draft.
Yeah.
They have to know what they're going to do in the preseason. And I would have no problem with them giving him some kind of deadline. I don't think that's unreasonable at all.
I mean, you're paying him $12 million a year, which is a discount, I see, but still, to a lot of people, that's a lot of money. But
right, yeah,
expectations should come with this kind of thing. So,
right, yeah, and I don't think it's unreasonable at all to give him a deadline and say, we need to plan too. We need to know whether you're going to be available for quarterback or not. And Mason Rudolph is a great backup, and that's his ceiling.
Yeah.
I wish they would give Will Howard a good look. I think he has potential.
Yeah.
And I think that Aaron Rodgers, just his presence there, can help Will Rodgers in his development. I wish they would have given Will Rogers or Will Rogers.
Will Howard.
Howard a few snaps in the regular season. He got 0. So I think that Rogers can serve a purpose for Howard moving forward.
What we're discussing today is Mike McCarthy's the head coach. So I'm trying to get about 6 of these six of these fans together to give me a full minute of why they feel that Mike McCarthy is going to carry on the Steelers tradition of the former 3 in our life, our living memory, of the winning tradition of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So today's guest is Mike, who's been a fan since he was probably in diapers. Is that correct, Mike?
That is correct.
Yeah, okay.
That is correct. Yeah, if I wasn't a fan, I probably would have been kicked out of my house,
Man, that's bad. You people take that stuff seriously, don't you?
Yeah. If I didn't marry a Steeler fan,
So
probably
was there ever any thought of being an Eagles fan?
No, never.
No, not at all.
We watched the Steeler games as kids, as a family.
Yeah.
That was our Sunday family.
Yeah.
It was a tough time in the 70s with the steel mill and a lot of jobs. It was a pretty economically depressed time, but that's what we did. We gathered around Steeler games, and that was our family time on every Sunday. Good times.
So we're having family time here and discussing the future of the Steelers, because this is all that really matters.
That is correct, Willie.
All right, so I'm going to roll my clock in here. This is a fancy dancy clock here from the 1970s.
Oh, okay.
It'll make you feel right at home. Look at
I'll be able to see it this time. Okay.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a minute too. And if you go over, that's okay. You know, we understand that you have deep-rooted feelings about this. To, you know, tell us how Mike McCarthy's going to play out in this whole scenario. And there's a couple of questions I got, but you don't really have to answer them. But they will. The whole Aaron Rodgers things will play out in time. So
Yeah, for better or for worse.
at some point, you're going to have to get a guy that's under 30 years old to play quarterback. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just an opinion of a 50-some-year-old guy who's watched a lot of football.
I think you're absolutely right.
You know. All right, so here we go. Yes. All right, so I'm going to start the clock now.
Okay. Well, I actually like the hire of Mike McCarthy. I know there were a lot of negative comments, you know, when it was first announced, but I kind of like it. I think the Steelers went in a different direction. Only time will tell. First of all, he's an offensive-minded coach. He's won a Super Bowl. He's worked with some very talented quarterbacks. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is one of them. Hopefully, he can, you know, help us find and, you know, develop, you know, our quarterback of the future. Second of all, I mean, he's a Pittsburgh guy, man. He knows the franchise. He knows the city. He's a blue-collar guy. He knows what the standard is. And, you know, hopefully he is going to be a guy that's going to be able to, you know, rejuvenate the fan base. And again, you know, I just want to give him a fair chance. I want to give him a fair opportunity. You know, let's reconnect 8 games into the season and see where we stand. But I think he at least deserves a fair shot. And I'm looking forward to that.
Well, that's great, man. Positivity.
Positivity.
Yes. Anyway, but I have to ask you before, you know, do you think he's going to start trying to develop younger quarterbacks sooner than later? Or is he going to hope Aaron comes back and do whatever they do with that?
I mean, I think Aaron Rodgers will be back. And I think that, you know, I mean, I think the Steelers are certainly going to give Will Howard a chance. I think he deserves a chance. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if, you know, with the draft being in Pittsburgh, that, you know, the Rooneys try to make a little bit of a splash with a first-round quarterback, depending on who's available.
Well, JP is here. He's going to be discussing the Pittsburgh Steelers and their new coach, Mike McCarthy. He's going to give us a full minute of how Mike McCarthy is going to take them to the promised land. Isn't that right, JP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got no enthusiasm, man.
All right. Look, I'll be completely honest. Well, first of all, when the news was breaking, my phone was blowing up as if I was a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, right?
Yeah.
My friends couldn't wait to break the news to me and just laugh and laugh and laugh because they hired Mike McCarthy. And I was not happy about it.
I'm going to start the clock, and you got 1 minute to give all the positive thoughts and or negative thoughts you have about Mike McCarthy. So here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
And go.
All right. What do I think about Mike McCarthy? Positive. Offense should be much better. We should have an offense that actually looks like an offense. We will probably focus on draft picks that are more offensive. We will probably get rid of some of the high-priced defensive players that we don't need because, you know, we stocked up on defensive players and the Steelers defense wasn't that great. So, as far as the hire, I think it's just it's Mike Tomlin all over again. It's gonna boil down to our quarterback, and if we can get some kind of production for the quarterback, whoever that may be.
Well, that was quick. Man, 50 seconds. So the question I have, which I've asked everybody, Pittsburgh has a quarterback. They used to call it quarterback controversy.
Yeah.
You've got a quarterback controversy now, and that you don't have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So somebody told me at work that they gave Aaron an ultimatum of making a decision, like March 1st, if he's coming back or not.
Yeah.
But then again, you have two other people. You have, was it Mason Rudolph?
Yeah.
And another guy named Howard.
Yeah. Will Howard.
Yeah.
He was
So
Will Howard was the quarterback of Ohio State that won a championship 2 years ago in college.
okay, yeah. So what would you like to see happen?
Well, I would like to get another quarterback somewhere, but Malik Willis is the top quarterback out there, and he wasn't even a starter where he was at. He was the backup. So I don't think I want him either. So there's not a lot of quarterbacks available. So I think what they're going to end up doing is bringing back Aaron Rodgers one more year, which would just be delightful. But there's really not a lot of other options. What I would like to see is just to see what Will Howard can do.
All right, you got anything left, JP?
That's all I got.
All right. Remember, folks, like and subscribe because we need your help. So long, everybody. Yeah. Every coach reaches his limit. Here's an example.
In
There used
times
to
of
be
change, Chuck Noll.
Kentucky basketball, which I'm a fan, had a coach named Tubby Smith.
I
And
know.
he said that Dick Vitale was talking to him once. He goes, one day the cheering will stop. And this year, the fans were chanting from the stadium, "Fire Tomlin." That has never happened before.
Never happened, especially in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And Mike Tomlin's a Super Bowl champion too.
Yeah. But the cheering stopped for him.
It did
And
stop.
And you know when the fans are tired of you, you should just leave. You know, that's my opinion. But hey,
I work every day as a news anchor, so and the audience doesn't want to watch you anymore. Out you go. So
out you go.
like,
You know
did
what
hear
it's
that,
like.
everybody? Just please stay with me for a little longer.
You know what it's like to work in radio and TV broadcasting, folks.
Oh man,
it's tough.
It's tough. Done it for 40 years.
All right.
So there you have it. But this will be interesting. I think a lot of people in Pittsburgh were looking for a total rebuild.
Well, hold that thought. I'm gonna roll this. I'm gonna roll this clock in here, and I'm gonna give you a minute. And if you go over, don't worry.
Okay.
And you just tell about it. If you, like I say, if you go over the minute, Tom, don't worry. This is YouTube. We got hours.
Okay.
We got hours of 3 people watching.
Sounds
all right,
great.
Tom. So tell us all you want to tell us about Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy, born
Here
in
we go.
Greenfield. I'm sorry?
So go.
ready?
You're on the clock.
Mike McCarthy, born in Greenfield, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb, working class neighborhood in Pittsburgh. Not really a suburb, but in the middle of the city. So he has a very strong Pittsburgh roots. Everything that the Yinzers like. We Pittsburgh fans love Pittsburghers, but I think a lot of people were hoping for a total rebuild. Going for somebody younger to bring a new vision, and maybe would be okay with losing a few seasons to rebuild and bring the Steelers back. But it looks like now they settled for a guy who might bring back Aaron Rodgers, who played with him in Green Bay, kind of continue the barely winning tradition. And I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But Mike McCarthy is a proven winner, and he's already, I think, going to be a popular guy in Pittsburgh. I guess that will depend upon his record, though, at the end of the season. But he is well liked and well respected, and the players like him too. So you got to give him a chance, and I will.
One question I do have for you, and I've asked is your quarterback situation. It's a mess. Would you agree that it's a mess?
Yes, I do agree it's a mess. Omar Khan, the Steelers general manager, this week mentioned Will Howard, which was interesting. He talked about Will Howard for the first time, and he even went as far to say that Howard could be the guy, the next starting quarterback. the guy that you want to have for 10, 15 years, which I thought was fascinating.
Yeah.
But they are, I think, looking at a lot of options. We keep hearing about Aaron Rodgers and about him possibly coming back to the Steelers. The trouble is, Aaron Rodgers likes to keep people hanging on for God knows how many months before he decides what he wants to do.
August 1st.
August 1st. Yeah, right. And also, a franchise quarterback this year is going to be slim pickings. It's going to be hard to find.
A franchise quarterback is impossible to find.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you're going to have to do is, this is me, and I've watched a lot of football, as you have. They need to let Aaron Rodgers go. You have to just let that go. You can't win with this guy. So what you're going to have to do is get somebody who's 25 to 30 years old, that's guy on your team or whatever, and you're going to have to work with this person to win.
Yeah, we'll see if Will Howard is that guy. It's funny that Omar Khan floated his name in the press like that.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, maybe he's trying to get Rodgers to get off his rear end and make a decision. I don't know if that was psychology or what, but we don't hear much about Will Howard. Only that he's a great guy. He is like a sponge when it comes to absorbing the very complicated world of an NFL quarterback. You have to have a lot of tools and a lot of smarts to play that position well. And they say Howard does have some of those qualities, but his you hear about his arm not being as strong as maybe some would like it to be. But I don't know. I mean, I'm in the camp, give the guy a chance. I'm with you. I think they should go with start developing Will Howard and see where they go from there. And then maybe, hopefully, if that doesn't work out, next year they try to draft somebody, as the next franchise quarterback, depending what their record's going to be, depending what kind of pick they get. Yeah. So there you have it.
There you go. All right, Tom, I'm going to get you out of here, and we appreciate your time and effort, sir. And thank you for being a Steelers fan.
Well, thank you for having me, Billy. It was a pleasure.
As I've told you before, I'm just trying to reach the top of the click mountain, baby. Remember, folks, like and subscribe, because that's what we need.
You are climbing the click mountain.
That's right. That's where we're trying to get to,
And you'll make it there despite me.
Who needs Mr. Beast and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? We got the Sports Economy Show, baby.
All right. See you, Billy.
All right. So long, everybody.
So long, everybody.
Y'all come back now. Here